Welcome back to part 10 of this magical fairy tales crochet along. This is our final part to end our journey. We will get started right away with round 115 using color L. So we are working the border this week based on the blue flower. We will start in any of the chain 2 corner spaces with 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Then we will crochet a double crochet in each of the stitches down the side, including the first stitch, which can be a bit hidden. There will be a total of 229 double crochet this round with the chain 2 in the corners. So you can go ahead and work that around all 4 sides, joining to our starting stitch to finish this round. Round 116, suggested color is E. We're going to start in the very first double crochet just past any of the corner spaces. We will start with the double crochet in that first double crochet. We'll skip the next stitch and make a V-stitch in the next double crochet. So a V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet in that same stitch. Skip the next stitch and double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. And that is our repeat that we will do 45 times down the side. So we skip the next stitch, V-stitch in the next. V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next 2. So you can go ahead and work that down the side. I will meet you just before the next corner. So when you finish that 45 repeats, we will skip a stitch, we will make a V-stitch in that second last stitch of the side, skip that last stitch, and then in the first chain of the chain 2 corner space, so not in the chain 2 space, but in that first chain we will place a double crochet, and then in the chain 2 space we will double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then in that first stitch just past the corner we will start with the double crochet. Then we're ready to work our repeats, so we skip a stitch, make a V-stitch, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next 2, and so on down the side. So you can go ahead and work around. We'll be joining after that last corner to our starting double crochet to finish off this round. So when you've completed your final side, after those 45 repeats, you'll skip the next stitch, V-stitch in the next, skip that last stitch, and then in the first chain 1, right in the chain, we will place 1 double crochet, and then in that chain space we'll make our corner of double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. And then we go ahead and attach to our starting stitch, but do not fasten off. So each side should have a total of 94 double crochet and 46 V-stitches for 232 stitches, and then the chain 2 in the corners. Round 117, continuing with color E. E, we will chain 3 from where we left off, which is that second double crochet of the side. And then in the V-stitch, or the chain 1 of the V-stitch, we will place another V-stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the chain 1 space of that first V-stitch of the side. So we've skipped the double crochet of the V-stitch and worked a V-stitch in the chain 1 space. And we'll skip that first double crochet there and double crochet in these next 2. Okay, so we'll continue down the side working the V-stitch in the chain 1 space of the previous round V-stitch and working 2 double crochet or 1 double crochet in each of the 2 double crochet. So we're always skipping the double crochet of the V-stitch, working in the chain 1 space and working into the sets of 2 double crochet. So you can go ahead and work that down the side, and I'll meet you just before the next corner. So as we finish the first side, we'll have made those 46 repeats. The last 2 double crochet are in those 2 doubles just before the corner space. And in that corner chain 2 space, for this round, we will make 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. And then working a double crochet in each of those first 2 double crochet of the side. And then ready to begin our repeats of the V-stitch in the V-stitch, skipping the double crochets of the V-stitch, but then double crocheting in each of those 2 double crochet between the V-stitches. So you can go ahead and work that around all 4 sides, and I'll meet you at the last corner. And as we get to the final corner, we will place those 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet in that same corner chain 2 space, that last corner of this round. And then we will only need 2 double crochet in the first stitch past the corner, as we started with a chain 3 in that second stitch. So we'll just join to the top of the chain 3 to finish this round and to fasten off. So each side should have 98 double crochet and 46 V-stitches for a total of 236 stitches with the chain 2 spaces in each of the corners. Round 118, using color C, we'll start in any of the chain 2 corner spaces. We'll place a single crochet, chain 1 single crochet in the corner, and it's suggested to put a stitch marker around the chain 1 so you can find that easier further rounds. We'll skip the first stitch, which is hidden, and single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochet. This last single crochet is in the double crochet to start the V-stitch. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We want to place a double treble, so we wrap the hook 3 times, or yarn over 3 times, and we're going to work this in the side of the single crochet that we just made. So going through that first post leg and out the back between it, so there's actually 2 loops that we go through, the front and the back of the side loop of the single crochet. Pull the loop through and yarn over, pull through 2 4 times for the double treble. So we're going to make a front post slip stitch down on round 116. So that's our first round with the V-stitches, and we want to place it around this first double crochet after the chain 2 corner space on round 116. So we'll put our hook through the back, around the back of that double crochet to pull up our loop and pull it through the loop on our hook for that front post slip stitch. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to go back into the side of that single crochet where we made that double treble and make a slip stitch back in the side of that single crochet. Then in this chain 1 space of the V-stitch, we will place 2 single crochet, 1 and 2. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we'll make a double treble again, so yarn over 3 times. And in that single crochet at the base of the chain 4, we want to go through those side, the front and the back, but the side post loops to pull up our loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 4 times. Then we'll front post slip stitch around this double crochet that's just before that next V-stitch. So front post slip stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we want to make that slip stitch back in the side of that single crochet where we made our last double treble. Okay, so those are our first set of leaves that we're making for a blue flower that will come in further rounds. Okay, so back on our current round where we've worked in the chain 1 space of the V-stitch, we're going to skip that second double crochet there, so working behind our leaf in that next double crochet we will single crochet in it and the next 2. And again, this last single crochet goes in that first double of the next V-stitch. So we started with some single crochet past the corner, worked our first leaf, single crocheted in the V-stitch, worked our second leaf, then we've just worked 3 single crochet behind that second leaf. Placing 2 single crochet in the chain 1 of this next V-stitch. We'll skip that double crochet starting in the next double crochet, so we skip the double crochet of the V-stitch. We'll work that set again of single crochet in those next 3 stitches and 2 single crochet in the chain 1 of the V-stitch. And again, we'll skip the double crochet of the V-stitch and single crochet in those next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. So we're ready now to work another leaf. So we will start with that chain 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll work that double treble in the side of the single crochet, our last single crochet we worked. So yarn over 3 times, going in the side of that single crochet through both the front and the back side post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times for our double treble. And then we're going to make that front post slip stitch, and it will be in the double crochet just after this V-stitch down on round 116. So that first double crochet after the V-stitch, we made the front post slip stitch, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then come back up into that single crochet in the side of that single crochet for another slip stitch for our first leaf. Two single crochet in the chain one space of the next V stitch, chain 4. Then we'll place that double treble in the side of that last single crochet we just made. So yarn over 3 times, double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 4 times. And then back down on round 116, we're going to make a front post slip stitch around the double crochet just before that next V stitch. Chain 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5, and then come back up and slip stitch in the side of that single crochet where we placed the double treble. And then skipping the double of the V stitch and working into the next stitch, we'll do that set of 3 single crochet. So single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2 single in the chain 1 of the V stitch. Skip the double of the V stitch, single crochet in the next 3, 2 single crochet in the chain 1 of the V stitch, skip the double of the V stitch, single crochet in the next 3. And then you're ready to start another leaf pattern again. So I'll let you to continue to work that down the side. There will be a total of 16 leaves, and I will meet you at just before this next corner. So I'm just finishing up my 16th repeat here. So for this final leaf, that last slip stitch is going to go around this double crochet of round 116 just before the chain 2 corner space. And we'll chain 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and then work the slip stitch back in the side of the single crochet at the base of this leaf. And then to finish this off, we will skip that double crochet of the V stitch and then single crochet in these last 4 stitches before the corner. 2, 3, and 4. Then we're ready for our corner, so that single crochet in the corner chain 2 space, chain 1, and I like to mark that chain 1 before I make that next single crochet in the corner space. Then ready to work down the next side, we'll skip that first stitch, single crochet in 4, and then we can start the repeat of those leaves. So you can go ahead and work these leaves all the way around all 4 sides, and I will meet you just at the end of this round. So when you've worked around the last side, remember that last slip stitch will be in the double crochet just before the chain 2 corner space, and the 4 single crochet before we meet our starting corner. So you can just join to our first single crochet to finish this round. Each side will have 231 single crochet. There'll be 32 of these leaves, and then the corners have the chain 1 space. Round 119, using color J, we're going to be making the blue flowers. So we want to start in the 3rd single crochet past any of these chain 1 corner spaces. So 1, 2, and 3. So we'll single crochet in that 3rd single crochet from the corner. So we're going to be working into the 2nd single crochet in between the 2 leaves to make this blue flower. It's a new stitch, the alternate bullion stitch. So I've made many different forms of bullion stitches. This one was new to me as well. but it's not that difficult. We will learn that together. So we will work 4 of these bullion stitches in that second single crochet between the leaves. So I've worked ahead a bit. I'm going to show you on my next leaf, but it's the same process in your first leaf. You're going to be working these stitches into that second single crochet where that second leaf was worked on the side. So to do this, we want to wrap our yarn so you can see the yarn that's coming from my work is going around the back of my finger to the front, and we're going to take that front loop and pull that loop off our finger and tighten it up just a little bit. We don't want it to be sloppy, but we don't want it to be tight. We want these loops to slide easily on the hook. So it's a little bit reminds me of casting on for knitting, if there's any of you that are knitters. So I have 5 loops on my hook. I have 4 of those loop stitches. Place 1 more on my hook. So there's 5 of those loop stitches plus our starting loop, so 6 loops on the hook. Then we will insert our hook into that second single crochet to pull up a loop, yarn over, and then I like to sort of hold a little bit on the base of these loops. You're going to pull that loop all the way through the loops that are on your hook. Now, if you've worked any of those loops tightly, it'll be a little bit tricky to get your hook all the way through those. Yarn over and make a loose chain, so you will see this thread or the yarn sort of laying across the top. We don't want to tighten that up so that this bullion stitch, all those loops are nice and flat and not curved. So that's 1. So we'll just do that again. We loop around our finger, insert the hook on that front loop, pull it off our finger and onto our hook for 5 of these loop stitches. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just have a knot here to undo. Go. So 5 of those loop stitches back into that same single crochet to pull up a loop, yarn over, and then sort of pinching at the base of those loops, wiggle that through those loops on the hook and a loose chain. So we've made 2 of those bullion stitches. We'll make 2 more in that same stitch. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for 6 loops on the hook into that same stitch to pull up a loop, yarn over and pulling through those loops on the hook and a loose chain. And 1 last of these bullion stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And don't forget to close with that last chain 1. And that has made our blue flower. Sometimes I find with bullion stitches it's helpful to have a yarn that's going to work well for you. The first color I chose, that yarn had a bit too much stretch and it would unravel easily, and that doesn't work very well for bullion stitches. It's too easy to catch on those. So you might need to change up your yarn choice if you're finding it difficult to work those, but most yarns that you've used should work fine for this. So after we have done that first flower, you're going to skip the leaf and the 2 stitches after it, single crochet in the next 9, and then you'll work that second bullion flower in that second single crochet between the leaves. Skip the leaf and the next 2 stitches, single crochet in 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 single crochet, and then ready to work another bullion flower. So take your time with this. If you're finding it tricky, and go slowly. There's no rush, no race, and hopefully you will be successful with those bullion stitches. And I will meet you just before our next corner. Just one other tip that I have found: it's easy for this first loop as you're working the bullion stitch to get a bit tight, or loose, and pull out a bit. You don't want that too sloppy, so if it helps, you can keep your finger on that working loop as you're picking up these other loops, and just keep your finger on top of them so they don't stretch out too far. It's 4 and 5. And then they should fall a little bit neater for you when you finish this. Now I got those ones a little bit too tight at the beginning. Yep. So that happens sometimes. The bullion stitch won't quite work, and you might need to make a few tries at it. So not too tight, not too loose, picking up those loops. The other thing I find helpful is to twist my hook just a bit so that the hook is doing the work to pick up that loop off my finger. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that worked much better for me. So as you've made your 15 of those blue flowers, those 4 bullion stitch flowers across the side, you will skip 2 single crochet in those next 9, and then you'll make your 16th 4 bullion stitch flower. You'll skip the 2 after, single crochet in the next stitch, which should be that 3rd single crochet before the corner, similar to how we started the side. We will be skipping these next 2 stitches, and then into that marked chain 1 space for our corner stitch, we're going to make a 6 alternate bullion in the marked chain 1 corner space. So I will leave the marker there for my first one just to help show you the placement. You will probably find it easier to remove the marker first. So we'll just add those 5 loops to our hook as we did for our other flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 loops on the hook. And then in this marked stitch, you want to find that chain 1, so we're not going through the single crochet, but find the chain 1 space for sure to pull up your loop, and then finish that bullion stitch with the chain 1. So you can go ahead and work 6 of those bullion stitches in the corner. So when you've completed the 6 bullion stitches in that corner chain 1, it should look similar to this. You will skip the first stitch, which is hidden, and the next stitch, make that single crochet in the 3rd stitch from the corner, ready to work down the 2nd side. So you can go ahead and work this all the way around. Hopefully those bullion stitches are coming to you easily now, and you can sort of get into a rhythm or routine of those stitches as you work your way around. So I will meet you just at the end of this round. So when you have worked your way around, you'll have this last bullion at the side, the single crochet in that 3rd stitch before the corner, and then you'll work the 6 bullion stitch flower in that corner chain 1 space and join to our starting single crochet to end this round. So each side will have 137 single crochet, the 16 flowers, and then in the corner will be the 6 stitch flower. Round 120, color E is suggested. I'm choosing my white color for this round. We are going to be framing the flowers we made with some shells. We want to find the second flower past the corner. In the first of the alternate boolean stitches for that flower, we will work a back loop only double crochet. So we yarn over and into the back loop at the top of that boolean stitch. We'll pull up our loop and yarn over and finish our double crochet for our first back loop only double crochet, and chain 1. And in the closing chain of the same boolean, we're going to work the back loop only double crochet as well. Chain 1. So we'll do that 3 more times. So back loop only double crochet in the top of the boolean stitch, chain 1, back loop only double crochet in the closing chain of the boolean stitch, chain 1. So 2 more times, back loop of the stitch, chain 1, back loop of the closing chain, chain 1, and last time back loop only double crochet in the alternate boolean stitch, chain 1, back loop only double crochet in the closing chain, chain 1. We'll skip the first 3 single crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, skip 2 single crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and we're going to skip those last 2 single crochet before the next flower. And then we're ready to work the shell again with those back loop only double crochet, chain 1, back loop only double crochet in the closing chain, chain 1, and so on. So you can work the shell, the skipping the stitches with those single crochet and the chain 3 in between for a total of 14 repeats down the side, and then I'll meet you just before the corner. When you've worked down the side on this last flower here, so you'll have finished your single crochet with the chain 3 single crochet, you will work into the first 3 of those boolean stitches with the double crochet, the back loop only double crochet, chain 1, and in that closing chain you will work into the last boolean stitch, the back loop only double crochet, chain 1. And then to finish this flower, we're going to make a back loop only double crochet 2 together. So we'll start in the closing chain of the last stitch of the last flower, make a partial double crochet, then into, we're going to skip that single crochet in between and into the back loop of the first boolean stitch of the corner flower. We will make another partial double crochet. So there'll be 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. Chain 1. Okay, and then we'll work in the closing chain with that back loop only double crochet, chain 1, and into the next stitch, the back loop only double crochet, chain 1. So we'll do that 5 times. So I have once done, twice, three times, four times, and my last one in that closing chain, chain 1, and in the last stitch of the corner flower, back loop only double crochet, chain 1. And then we'll want to work a back loop only double crochet 2 together, starting in the closing chain just after that last stitch of the corner. Skip that single crochet in between and make the second partial back loop only double crochet in the first bullion stitch of the first flower on the side. Pull through all 3 loops. Chain 1. And then we'll finish this flower, so starting in the closing chain with the back loop only double crochet, chain 1, and then into the next stitch, back loop only double crochet, chain 1. So that's 1 time. You want to do that 3 times. So in the next closing chain and in the next bullion stitch for 2 times, and then the next closing chain and the last bullion stitch of that first flower, chain 1. Then we'll work a back loop only double crochet in that closing chain of that last stitch, chain 1. Skip the 3 single crochet in the next, chain 3, skip 2 single crochet in the next, chain 1, and skip the next 2 before the second flower of the side. And that's where our repeat begins again. So I'll let you continue to work that around all 4 sides, and I'll meet you just at the end of this round. So when you've worked your way around that final corner and done the last single crochet with the chain 3 single crochet, chain 1, you will just join to our starting back loop only double crochet to finish this round. Do not fasten off. We'll continue with the same color next round. So each side will have a total of 126 back loop only double crochet, 2 back loop only double crochet 2 together, 142 chain 1 spaces, 30 single crochet, and 15 chain 3 spaces. And each corner has the shell of the 10 back loop only double crochet. So round 121, we're going to continue with the same color we were using in the previous round. We will be skipping all of the chain 1 spaces. So we're starting in that first stitch or the first back loop only double crochet of the second flower of the side, chain 4 from where we fastened last round. We'll double crochet in that same back loop only double crochet, and the chain 4 plus that double crochet makes our first V-stitch in the first back loop only double crochet of last round. We just want to V-stitch in each of these next 7 back loop only double crochet. So double crochet in the top of that next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next. We want to be careful that our chain 1s are not pulled tightly, they're fairly loose, so it doesn't pull our work as we work across this round. Double crochet in the next back loop only double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch for our second V-stitch. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 V-stitches, and then with our starting stitches, that's 8 V-stitches across the shell on top of that flower. Then we will skip the single crochet in the chain 3 space, skip the next single crochet, and V-stitch in the next. Okay, so we'll continue to work that down the side. V-stitches in each of those back loop only double crochet, single crochet in the chain 3 spaces, and I'll meet you just before the next corner. So when you have reached the last flower before the corner, you will make a V-stitch in these first 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 V-stitches in those first 6. So in the last back loop only double crochet of this flower before the corner, we will work a double crochet 2 together between that last double crochet. We're going to skip the double crochet 2 together from last round and work the second part in that next double crochet. So we yarn over into that last double before the double crochet 2 together, pull up a loop and yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over again, and then skipping the double crochet 2 together, and in that next double crochet we'll pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops. Then around the corner flower we will work a V-stitch in the 8 back loop only double crochet of the corner flower. So that's 1, 2, 8 V-stitches around that corner flower. And then in this final double crochet, we will yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, skip the double crochet 2 together, and then in the first double crochet of that next shell, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then we're ready to begin our V-stitches down the flower, single crochet in the chain 3. So you can go ahead and work that all the way around. And again, I'll meet you just before the end. So when you have worked around this final corner with those double crochet 2 together on either side of the corner flower, you'll work the rest of that first flower with those V-stitches, single crochet in the final chain 3 space, and then you want to join to the 3rd chain of our starting chain 4 to finish this round, and you can fasten off. So there will be a total of 124 V-stitches each side, 15 single crochet, 2 double crochet 2 together, plus the 8 V-stitches in the corner. Round 122, the final round for part 10 and the final round for our Fairytales journey together. Color F is the suggested color. We want to find the first V-stitch of any corner flower. We're going to be working in the chain 1. We want to work directly into the chain 1 stitch, not into this space. And in that chain 1 stitch, we will make a single crochet to start this round. Then working in the next stitches and chain. So in each of the chains, we work into the chain, not the space. So you can go ahead and work those 22 single crochet. So 22 single crochet. The last single crochet falls in the chain 1 of the final V-stitch of this corner flower. Then we want to work a single crochet 2 together using this last double crochet of the V-stitch and the first double crochet of the next V-stitch, skipping over the double crochet 2 together. So single crochet 2 together using the last of the V-stitch and the first of the next V-stitch. Then we'll single crochet in the next 14. So in the chain 1 and the next double crochet. So that's 2, 13 and 14 single crochet. And that last one should be in the last double crochet of the second last V of this flower. And then working in this first double crochet of this last V and into the second double crochet of the next V, we'll work a single crochet 2 together. So we'll be skipping the chain 1 space of the V and the double crochet, the single crochet, the first double crochet and then chain 1 of the next V. And then single crochet in the next 18 stitches. So 1, 2, remembering that we work into the chain 1, not into the chain 1 space as a stitch. 17 and 18 single crochet. Again, the last single crochet is made in the second double of the second last V stitch. So that is our repeat, working that single crochet 2 together and then the 18 single crochet. So remember, with the single crochet 2 together, it's the first double crochet of the last V that we work into, and then the second double crochet of the next V that we work our single crochet 2 together over. So you can continue to work that down the side with those 18 single crochet and that single crochet 2 together, and I will meet you just before the next corner. So when you've worked your way down the side after the 14 repeats, you will do another of the single crochet 2 together in the first of the last V of that flower and in the last double crochet of the first V of the next flower, and then single crochet in 14, and then it'll be just before that corner flower where we'll do the single crochet 2 together in the last double crochet of the last V of this flower. So your final single crochet is in the chain 1 of the last V. So we'll pick up the first part of the single crochet in that last double crochet, skip the double crochet 2 together, and then work in the first double crochet of the next V to do the single crochet 2 together to complete this side. And then you're ready to begin the next side down. So starting with a single crochet in that chain 1 of the first V, and then working in the stitches around, so 22 single crochet on the corner flower, and ready to do the single crochet 2 together on the other side and complete each side. So you can continue to work around these sides with those single crochets and single crochet 2 together, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. So as you've worked your final side and down the final flower, we finish with those 14 single crochet ending in the chain 1 of the last V stitch. We'll work the single crochet 2 together using that last double crochet, skipping the double crochet 2 together and working into the first double crochet of the next V stitch, complete our single crochet 2 together, and we will end this journey with the slip stitch to our starting single crochet to fasten off. And that completes part 10 and our Fairytales crochet along. Hope you enjoyed this adventure. Special thanks to our creative designer for providing this beautiful pattern for us to follow, and thanks for joining in with me. Hope to see you again sometime.